Hi everyone, my name is Trudy King. I'm your host for Thoughts. Welcome to another amazing episode of Thoughts. Today we have with us the beautiful, the very innovative and kind-hearted Venice Irving from Happy Teachers Online Club. She is a CEO as well as CEO of so many other things. But before we start talking to Venice, we just want to remind you of what Thoughts is. Thoughts is our mindful conversation series that we're doing around mental health and wellness. And we want for you to just take the opportunity to watch thoughtfully and to be able to soak in all that Venice has for us. She has a wealth of knowledge that she's going to be sharing with us today. And we just want to welcome her, welcome Venice to Thoughts. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Trudy, for having me.
Perfect. So, Venice Irving, as usual, when everybody comes on Thoughts, we say, who is Venice? Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, Venice is a Jamaican, born and raised, a world traveler, innovative, faith-filled, a mother, a wife, a business owner, confident, puts her trust in Christ.
Yes.
And is a daughter of the King. And I identify as the daughter of the King. That's my identity.
Perfect, perfect. I'm going to hold on to daughter of the King bits and come back to that in a little bit, because you started talking right off the bat about identity, and it is so important. It is so important for people to know who they are and where they identify. And especially we're highlighting, individuals during the COVID period that continue to persevere, and you're one of them. And some people would have lost their identity during the COVID period. They might have lost their job. They might have lost their home. They might have lost their business. And without some of those things, people can't be to somebody sitting at home thinking, oh, who am I? I've worked this long for this company. I've worked this hard to build this company and it's now gone. And so identity is something that's key to being able to survive, knowing who you are. And hopefully today, some people will get that hope to be able to re-identify themselves and be able to go on, right? So you are a business owner, you're a mom, you travel the world. Tell us, let's start with your travels.
So I have been to quite a few countries. I graduated from college in 2000 here in Jamaica, Northern Caribbean University. And then I left to teach in Asia for 8 years. I was primarily in Taiwan, but while there, I went to South Africa, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea, England, all over the place.
Yes.
I always say to people that want to know where I've been, I say to people, when I was there and I would meet friends who were teachers and they were going back home, for vacation, I said, let me go with you. So I would pack a bag and end up going with them and staying with them and just looking at their country, loving their country. And I loved traveling. I loved the freedom. I was there by my lonesome, but it was a chance for the Lord to show me what the world is like, and for me to meet people from all over, taste their food, taste their culture, experience their culture, listen to their music, and truly have an appreciation of someone that does not look like me. That's what
I'm just really happy about that. Really, really happy, because sometimes first of all, shout out to everybody who's from Jamaica. Venice to say Kingston, Jamaica, so I'm going to help her out. Kingston, Jamaica. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's really, really good to be able to experience something different from yourself. It's absolutely fantastic to be able to experience something different from who you are. It opens up your mind and your understanding. And, it's not too late for individuals to travel once the COVID period goes down and you're thinking, you know what, I never traveled to those places. I've never been. There's still hope. There's still a chance. There's still a chance for you to go traveling. And I know there are a few places that are still in curfew and lockdown. but the opportunity is that you're not in a curfew and you're not in a lockdown. You can just go somewhere, even if it's in your own country. Some people have never explored their own country, and now is the perfect time for it, just to reconnect with nature and enjoy, you know, all the beautiful things that are out there in nature. So I support that 100%, right? So you've traveled, so you've, I think it was Maslow's law speaks about actualizing, and you've actualized in terms of doing all those things that you wanted to do. I agree with you 100%. Normally I'm a backpacker myself, but you know, I really advocate for that when it's safe to do so. So you've traveled.
The interesting thing is that I started traveling when I was, well, like I said, I left Jamaica when in 2000, I was just 20 years old. So I didn't know anything, and I didn't know anyone. So now when I speak to young people, whether it's through mentorship or through just, you know, inspiration and encouraging, I say to young women, travel, young men, travel. See something other than what you are looking at now in your community, in your parish, district, county, city, or your country. Go out and meet someone that looks different than yourself. You'll understand the world a little bit more, and you'll have more compassion when you get to understand and meet people that don't look.
And you'll be able to face your fears and biases, because a lot of where fears and bias come from is by not knowing the other person, not knowing anything about them and what they look like or experience. And then, you know, you suddenly realize that it's a person just like me. They probably have the same blood type, just like me. And you probably like fish, but I make fish like this, but you make fish like that, but it's the same fish, and now we can exchange fish recipes. So we just really want to point that out, that, you know, doing these things and linking with individuals that are different from us in the way that you have a really will allow an individual to be able to break down biases, stereotypes, you know, all those things that make for a poor relation with each other, that we can't live in unity and love with each other. Perfect. So you are the CEO, and so far everybody's like, all of your thoughts have had these women, these powerful women. Is it just thoughts for women? It isn't just thoughts for women. It isn't. But you know, these are the women that have come forward. And so you are the CEO of a company. I want you to tell us a little bit more about your company, and you know, what exactly do you do?
All right, so I'm a CEO of Happy Teachers. We are an online tutorial company, and we use our platform to advocate and to also allow persons to access persons that speak world Englishes. So if you're not familiar with world Englishes, the English as its normal language, right? It's from Britain, and you know, people say that's English. But if you look throughout the world, you have many people that speak very different varieties of English. That includes Jamaicans and persons from the Caribbean. That may also include South Africans. That includes the persons from the Philippines, and etc., etc. So we have been using our platform to promote our way of speaking English, and also to promote our culture, our language, our dialect, which is patois, and also to promote other countries' dialects and cultures and world Englishes.
Perfect.
So that's it. I do a lot of things, including overall managing the company. I do have a team that I work with. Some are full-time, some are part-time, so I oversee them. I have to ensure that I continuously have agreements and partnerships across the world, and that those are always up to date. We're always, you know, finding different things to do, different ways to monetize our skills so that the business can keep on going.
When you say monetize your skills, not to dig into your money, not just yet, and we're not going to ask you about your net worth or anything like that. When we say monetize skills, because I think we became familiar with Happy Teachers because of the program that you run by being able to empower individuals to be able to teach online.
Right.
And we saw that as a good step, and especially during this COVID period, where there are individuals who have lost a job and could possibly teach and might need a new profession to be able to sit right in the comfort of their home as they're in Jamaica and be able to teach somewhere around the world. And I personally think that's empowering individuals to be able to get back on their feet. And we really liked what you were doing. So we just wanted to just make it very clear when we say monetize, and as well, you work with other organizations doing other things, because I know you do conferences and stuff. So we're quite happy. So Happy Teachers has been going for a little while, and you've given hope to a lot of individuals who are probably thinking, what's my next step? What's my next step? And we just want to point out, we're advocating as well that, if you're thinking about a career change, contact Venice. Contact her to see what's there. Possibly if teaching is a passion of yours, you think, I could go into teaching, I could see how this goes, how this will go for me. Right. So you've traveled, you're running a business. Anybody who runs a business knows how hard it can be to run a business, especially in the setting up stage. And then know that you have a team, and actually your business is to provide a service for other people. So they're actually looking to you to be able to match them with or point them in the direction of a job. Surely that's a lot. That's a lot. How do you do that daily?
I am inspired always when persons call and say, hey, I need an idea, I need some resources. I'm down on my luck. I lost my job. I'm going through a divorce. I am in hiding from an abusive spouse. Whatever those stories are, it inspires me and fuels me to continuously find opportunities. Now, when I first started, I used to go out and find opportunities and do research and ask questions and reach out. Now I don't have to do that because the opportunities come to me, which is a blessing.
Yes.
So I said to a friend of mine, a colleague of mine the other day, that when the opportunities come, I don't always take them because not everything that glitters is gold.
Right.
But I always try to find somebody else to bless that opportunity with. Or I'll put it on my platform on Happy Teachers Online Club and say, hey, anybody interested? You can find that. If I do decide to take that opportunity and go through that door, I always leave the door open behind me so that someone else can come in and never close the door behind me. So I always remember the days when I wanted opportunity and no one was giving it to me.
Right.
So I never wanted to be that person. And that's my drive, just to ensure that persons are taken care of and that they can put food on their table, they can pay rent, they can buy a piece of land in the country, they can take care of their family.
Listen, I'm just listening, I'm sitting down here and I'm just thinking, the first thing that jumped out when you started talking was how unselfish you are in doing that. Because some people are so massively selfish. They are just so selfish and they just think.
I don't see it as like that.
No,
I don't look at it like that.
No, but you might not see it as unselfish, but from the person sitting here, it's very unselfish of you, because some people are selfish. For the mere fact that you decide not to be selfish and you can leave the door open behind for someone else. And some people will just come in and lock the door and tape up the door and barricade the door too, and say, listen, only one of us can be here. And that level of kindness.
And you do have persons who become the doorkeeper.
Yes.
Or
for a door that they don't even
call
own.
It the gatekeeper.
Yeah. For
some
a
people
they don't
say
even
the
own.
gatekeeper, meaning you stand at the door and you profile each person that comes, and you choose who goes through the door of opportunity and who does not. Yeah. And that also is a way of, holding back some people. So if I don't like you, I don't open the door for you.
Right.
But if you're my friend and I like you, then hey, here's the door of opportunity to come. And
And it
even
is,
then, I still
mhm.
limit you because some people don't want other persons to do as well as they are doing. So they'll
Well,
give
we
you the
commend
opportunity,
you.
but just not to that extent.
No, what we really commend you, because for you to make it clear to step through a door, and here's another thing too, because you can leave a door open and hope that other people come in, and the next person that comes in isn't as kind as you and just comes in and ruins the whole house, the whole building for anybody else. But to think that day after day, when you find these opportunities, you're not letting that mar, you're not making anything that has happened like that stop you from being you. And this is where you said your identity lies in you, because if you know who you are and you're settled and stable in who you are, you will know that I have left this door open, and though somebody has come and ruined it, but for me and my life, doors just always keep open behind me, because that's who I am supposed to be. I will always be a blessing. And especially now more than ever, individuals need that. We need that. The world needs that. Somebody who would not think of just themselves, but just think of the next person. And here's another thing for us too, the fact that you're thinking how somebody else is going to put a bread on their table. Some people couldn't care less.
So for what you just said, when persons come in and totally go off and distort the opportunity, and because of that, other people lose out. I've had a couple of that already. And what has helped me is to try not to keep any record of wrongs. Always remembering that I too fail, I too make mistakes, I too am a sinner, I too do wrong things sometimes intentionally, sometimes not intentionally, but it happens because I'm a human being.
Right.
So I try not to keep, and I'm really stressing the word try, because there are times when I remember, Lord, that
Yes.
person, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they call me back and say, I need an opportunity again. And you are hesitant to give that second chance.
Mm.
So usually I say to them, well, just follow me on social media. I always post things in the online club. So if you yourself want to just to apply on your own, that's fine. But you have to also, as a business person myself, I have to protect my reputation
Yes,
and
definitely.
protect my integrity.
Yes. Yes,
So my
definitely.
business integrity, that is personal integrity and business integrity, because
Right.
you can build your
Yes.
business in 20 years and in a day you lose it through your reputation.
Right. Wow.
So when I encourage people to make an opportunity, I recommend people for opportunities and they don't do well, it also looks bad on me, the recommender. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
definitely.
therefore and even though I try to give everyone a chance, not everyone can get a chance, but I always have to bear that at the back of my mind, that yeah, I have to be careful who I recommend. So that's one of the reasons why I put the platform on, and I started the platform because I was getting a lot of calls and I couldn't
Right.
recommend everyone.
Right.
So I said, just let me put it on a platform for everyone to come and see, and you go out and you apply, and if it works out for you, great. If
Right.
not, better luck next time.
Right. It you're talking, and in my head I'm just hearing keeping no record of wrong. Keeping no record of wrong. And
Absolutely.
sometimes keeping a record of wrong can stop so many people on both sides from excelling. Because if you decide to keep no record of wrong, you'd realize that the person, in some instances, have made a mistake and they just need a second chance. And the second time around, they will come better than the first time. But when we keep a record of wrong, that's going to be my takeaway to put on my board. Keep no record of wrong. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I guess we're going to have to pray about that one. But keep no record of wrong. A
Well,
perfect.
in
So,
addition to that, is also to stand up for yourself. Now, I was always the person that never stood up for myself. I always said, if anyone said anything about me, um, to harm me or anything like that, I would just let the Lord handle it. Just pray
okay.
about it and let the Lord handle it. And that was me in my teenage years, early 20s. But by my mid 20s, I realized that by me not saying anything, people walked away with the wrong impression of me.
Right.
And so I started to say something. And I started to correct the wrongs.
Right.
I started to correct the lies and the misinformation.
Right.
I started to speak truth and
Right.
not just hold the truth in myself, but to speak it and to correct so that truth can prevail. So that's what I learned to do for myself. And that was a self-care activity that I had to do for myself, because I realized that when you speak to persons, people will be like, oh, I never knew that about you because I heard so. So I was like, really?
Right.
Let me correct that right
Right.
now, okay? And speak the truth. Of course, truth comes with you just being yourself in your authentic self, so people can
Right.
see what truth is. So if something is done, someone says something and it is not true, eventually with your actions, it will come out that something was not true. But
Right.
I have learned, especially in business, people don't have the time to wait to see if it
Right.
is true or not.
True or not.
And rumors spread like wildfire, misinformation spreads like wildfire. So I've learned to own my own voice and to speak truth and to hold on to truth, especially when I know what truth is.
Yes.
In addition to that, I remember when I was young, and even in my early 20s too, all this happened when I was young.
It's a stepping stone
But
though.
in my early 20s, people used to tell me who I am.
Okay.
Oh, Venice, oh, you're this. Oh, Venice, you're so. Oh, Venice, you're. And I'm like, okay, let me now begin to tell you who I am, because I
Right.
know myself best.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I know who I am. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. But I will tell you who I am. Don't do that, because you can't know who I am from a
Right.
1-hour conversation.
True.
You can't
Or
know who
what
I
you hear
am
about from
if
someone
you
else.
met me 10 years ago from
Yes.
someone else, or
Yes.
if Trudy and I went to Wilma's 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yes, we did. We did.
But based on what you know of me in the past, you cannot now use that to inform the present.
Right. Right.
Let me now introduce myself to you, or reintroduce myself to you,
Exactly.
because we've been out of touch for many years. So what I have been realizing is that people will hold an opinion of who you are from way back in the day, or something that you said, or something you've done. Like I said, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. They hold that perception, and now they meet your present self,
Right.
and they still have that opinion of you in your head. No more for me. I reintroduce myself and I tell them who I am. And not only do I say it, I also live up to it, right? Because it must align what you say and how you act, your character.
Here's what I'm taking away. So many things are coming out at me. One is it's important for your personal and business integrity to speak truth. Speak your truth and not let anybody dictate the narrative for you and your company, because it could just be that they might not like you, or did not like the fact that you didn't yield to a request, and then go and badmouth you to everybody. And so whether it's in a personal situation or a business situation, it's important that you find your voice and speak truth. Here's another thing too: self-care, mental health. And I was going to move to that. How do you take care of your mental health with all these other things? And we're definitely going to be looking at this reintroducing ourselves to people, because what we find is that, especially during the COVID period, so we're doing this as well, individuals who have not normally connected, or if you live in a house and you're not really at home all the time, with partners, children, you're suddenly together and you actually don't know the person. You don't know who this person is. You've got siblings or cousins or aunts who haven't seen you for a while, and friends or from high school or wherever who haven't seen you for a while. And I just want to stop here and say our motto means at all times we try to do our best. At home, at school, at work, at play, we put it to the test. Age quadagis. Just have to put that
I'm
in.
glad you remembered.
And so it's important that we are allowed. So it's important that we reintroduce ourselves, and that we are allowed by individuals to reintroduce ourselves. And so they have to be able to let go of that old thought or old idea of what they thought the person was, and find the new person, because every single day the person would have changed and evolved. And if there is anything else I'll take away from this, is the fact that I need to reintroduce myself to people, and I need to allow other people to reintroduce themselves to me, because that's important. And without that, if we don't want people to reintroduce themselves, if we don't reintroduce ourselves, I'm getting the fact that we're not growing, and we don't want them to grow. We want to keep them in the box we knew them all this while. And life isn't like that. Life isn't static. Changes. People grow and learn, and you've traveled and met all these people, meet these, know these things. You probably know how to cook sushi, and I don't. And so when you come to tell me, this is how you cook sushi, I can't be like, oh, well, I only eat rice and peas and jerk chicken around here, Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we don't allow people to reintroduce themselves? We stop our growth, we stop their growth, and nobody's growing. And if you're not growing, you're dead, really. Nothing much is going to happen to you.
That's what happens to many people. They don't want to grow because they are now in their comfort zone. They're comfortable where they're at, and to grow means to be uncomfortable for some time. To grow means change, which a lot of people don't like. And you mentioned just now about people letting go of the old thought. Many people are so comfortable with that thought that even when the truth is staring them in the face, they refuse to let go of the untruth and hold on to truth. They prefer the untruth. They may know, that is true, but I prefer to believe the lie, because the lie enables me to be comfortable. The lie enables me to laugh at you and ridicule you if that is what they want. The lie allows me to continue bad-mouthing you because I love the gossip.
Wow.
The lie allows me, and like I said, what spreads like fire is the rumors and the lies.
Yes.
Truth doesn't spread as much.
No.
And truth is
while the lie is running away, truth is just putting on its shoe.
Feeling.
Yeah.
People prefer to hold on to the lie.
Wow. Right. Wow.
So people prefer the lie. People prefer a juicy story. People prefer that, and they, even though they know what is in their head is not true, they prefer to hold on to it. So
and hopefully
it is what it is.
We just want to give hope to that person who has been holding on to a lie, and it's a lie with somebody else. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
And we're not talking about what other people are doing and what other people are saying regarding holding on to your thoughts. It's also holding on to thoughts about yourself. That's a lie.
Yes.
Maybe when you were younger and you grew up, and the parents, your parents told you, oh, you'll never amount to anything. Oh, you're not as bright as your sister. Oh, you're not beautiful. Oh, your skin is too dark. Oh, your hair is too nappy.
Yeah.
Oh, your teeth is not as white as. And you keep those lies, grow up with them, and still have them in your mind. And it limits you from truly what the Lord has in store for you, because you still have those lies in your head. And even now, you know the truth. You know you're beautiful. You know your teeth white and pretty.
Yes.
You know you're smart. But you're holding on to that lie that was told to you many moons ago. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
So we just want to encourage that person who's watching. Think about it. Think about the thoughts that you've had, the words said to you. If you've had negative words said to you at any point in your life, and if you've identified with them, as Venice said it earlier about identifying, you've got to re-identify yourself with positive words, positive thoughts, positive things about yourself that you have accomplished, trying to accomplish, and shift those thoughts to the positive side and reintroduce yourself to you, reintroduce yourself to those thoughts and comments made about you. Be confident, as she was saying, she's confident. Be confident in the fact that no, I am this, I'm not what you say I am. I have gotten here. And then reintroduce, once you've had the courage and the bravery to do it, reintroduce yourself to these individuals. And listen, there's no, I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think there's any apology to be a new you, to reintroduce yourself to them. You're no longer holding on to an untruth. You're no longer holding on to a lie. And then this is when you can start your actualizing process. So we're going to go quickly into, you know, so this is a lot to take on, Venice. So you've used self-care. Any other mental health things that you, how do you, with self-care, with not holding on to lies, how else do you take care of your mental health?
Well, I listed up quite a few things, but in addition to all the things I said before, you were just talking about self-actualization. Being honest with yourself is also a part of taking care of yourself. Be honest. So if really you are not in the best of health, in the best of health or the best shape right now, but you want to be honest with where you're at now and say, I want to be, and this is where the self-actualization come. I give myself 6 months to lose weight. I give myself a year to get on the better track, you know, right. Better health. I will start the green smoothies. I will start to eat better, get more vegetables in, maybe take a daily supplement, stuff like that. So that's something that I do and that I've been doing now for about 6 years. Right. I've started to some people say vision boarding, but I like to do something that is a bit more in depth. I write my plans, I write my goals, I write how I'm going to achieve them. I put a deadline and a date. If the deadline comes and I have not achieved them, I just give myself another 6 months to achieve. Right. I write the resources that I may need to achieve a particular goal. I write what do I need to do in the home and what my family needs to do to support me in order for me to achieve that goal. I am very detailed about my plans and where I'm going. And because of that, since I've been doing it 5 to 6 years ago, I've seen definitive process and definitive progress rather in my the achievements that I've had in career, personal life, and my spiritual life. So and I break it down like that. I have personal goals, spiritual goals, career goals, and I've seen the results because I've been very specific with where I want to go.
So it comes in really, really handy. You know, I think thoughts are just for me now. Yes, I think they're just for me because I'm just going to run to the vision board now and I'm going to put some timelines. And I'll put some timelines on some things that I want to do. So I'm hearing a part of keeping, taking care of your mental health with all the other things that you have said is making what we in my career would call SMART targets. They're quite, you know, you set timelines, right. You make sure that they're achievable, they're manageable, and they're timely, they're specific, and then you work towards
measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound.
Time bound. So you have those, and then you've actually, I like the fact because I was going to get to that. You know, how do you take care of the mental health of your family members, with all that you're doing because you are a mom and a wife. And I just heard you say that, you know, you actually write down how they help you to achieve your goals as well. Wow. Because most people don't think about that. They just think, I have a goal, I'm going to try and achieve it. And then not realizing that the people around them need to actually help. And so this causes a lot less conflict in the home because the husband now knows what the goal of the wife is and how he plays his role in that, and the children also know how they play their role. So wow. So I suppose, you know, tell us a little bit about, you know, in terms of managing the mental health of your family, how do you do that as well?
All right. So regarding my husband, he's very supportive with me and everything that I do. And I try to be that for him. So we talk about the different goals that we have, career-wise, personally too. For example, one thing that we talked about since the corona is that we want to go on more vacations because we've been so busy working. We're both professionals. And sometimes we don't get that chance to go for a vacation. So we take vacation days, but we just stay at home and work.
No.
So I said, let us go to a hotel and just not do any work for a weekend or a week and just relax. So that's one thing I can share that we have been trying to do. And so we work now towards that. So we say we're gonna take vacation days at the same time and then go off and make reservations and go somewhere with the family to relax. That's also a part of self-care and taking care of your mental health. In addition to that, we talk about other things too. I know his goals, his plans. I know when he's planning to achieve all of that. I know the deadlines that he has. I may not know specifically, but if he says he has a deadline to meet in the next 2 months, so he can't help out with certain things around the house because he has to work overtime to finish something, then I understand and I try to pick up the slack. Likewise, if I have something, he picks up the slack. So it is a give and take. My son, just like every young child or most young children, is afraid of the dark, afraid of ghosts. So I have been now teaching him Bible verses, things like do not fear, what they call again? Do not fear because the Lord is with you. The Lord will uphold your right hand, all of that. Don't be afraid, things like that. And also the scripture that he loves is God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. So I have been teaching him those scriptures to say, when you are scared, when you are in the dark and you feel scared, repeating those scriptures and saying a big prayer can help. So that has helped with his mental health and to, push away the fear. I use real moments to teach my son, not only just to say, but real moments to teach. So if we're going on the road and we see someone that's, for example, maybe about a year ago, we were walking along going to a corner shop, and on the way to the corner shop, we saw a homeless young man on the road, very young man. And then while walking, we passed him, and then he started asking questions. And I said, oh, well, if you are so interested in the young man, maybe when we go to the shop, you can buy a biscuit for him and a juice. And he said, okay. And we bought the biscuit and the juice. And when we are coming back home, approaching the young man, I gave him the biscuit and juice. I said, you go ahead and give it to him. And he went over and gave it to him. So I find that using real moments to explain to him about life, just not say, oh, we should help people, but he never sees anyone helping people, and he himself has never helped people. So I've used those moments, and he gets that he needs to care for people, he needs to help people. And so those are the things I do with him as a young child to show that self-care, even though the word says self, it also means to take care of others too.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing, because as you're talking, because as you realize, as you're talking, so many things are coming out at me. Not only are you trying to help him formulate what is considered as good mental health, which you're doing, you out of it was jumping all your parenting tips in terms of helping to realize that, okay, I'm taking care of myself, but a part of self-care really is helping to take care of someone else, to give back. And him recognizing that this person is on the street, doesn't have, and he has sufficient to share, is a part of giving back. And that's a key parenting tip. And we just want to encourage all parents that are out there, teach your children to be kind. Teach them to be kind. Help them to remember that there are people who are less fortunate, and instead of looking down or talking bad or mocking them and laughing, teach them to be kind, because that kindness is actually helping your own child's mental health, believe it or not. it's helping your own child's mental health. So teach your children to be kind.
And in addition to teaching them to be kind, you should also show them.
Right.
You can say it, but if they've never seen you as a role model do it, then it's
Right.
lost on them.
Wow.
So show them to be kind.
Yeah.
Show them how to be kind.
Be kind. It's because kindness is an action, isn't it? We can't just sit on our couch and say I'm kind. And just, it's a verb. It's you actually have to do it.
And how to speak kindly too.
Right.
How to speak kindly.
Wow. That's amazing.
And how to speak kindly of others.
So it's not always a tear down.
To themselves.
I think that's key. I think that's really key. Speaking kindly to yourself. And so many times you see children say, oh, I'm a failure. Oh, I'm a loser. Oh, I did it wrong. And you're wondering, where is this coming from? Why are you talking to yourself? You're actually abusing yourself. Why are you doing that? But actually saying, you know what, I made a mistake. I can correct the next time around. I don't understand what's happening. Maybe I can ask for help to learn this so that I can understand it the next time around. Speaking kindly to yourself. So it is the duty of parents to help their children's mental health. A part of parenting and good parenting tips is also helping your child. So we've learned that got to teach our children to take care of their mental health, and a part of it is giving back, being kind to themselves, being kind to others. And as adults, we too have to demonstrate that. So it can't be just all words said to the child and we don't demonstrate it. So we have to check the conversations on the couch in the living room that we have about people. Yeah, we've got to check those conversations. What are they hearing us say about people? What are they seeing us do to people? Because it's formulating a thought in their mind, and it will affect their mental health in the long run and your parenting of them. So perfect. Thank you for that. We're going to quickly move to our next question, because I think you're teaching your son, your parenting skills was just on point, and you're teaching your son how to be able to find himself. So in terms of personal and social development, because you're doing so many things, what's your personal and social development for yourself? How do you keep going? How do you keep growing?
All right. So for me personally, I like to, based on what I said to you earlier regarding that vision board thing that I do, I actually have it written down, or I would type it and print it out. So I walk with it wherever I go. I would put what I would like for myself, how I would like myself to feel. So for example, like I talked about the diet, if I've not been on a good diet and I'm not feeling well, and I feel like I could lose a couple of pounds or get a bit more exercise, then I put that down and I make a concerted effort to go out more, to walk in the park, to do smoothies in the early mornings when I get up, or to do things differently. So I do an audit at the end of each year, and that audit I will look through the entire year to see personally, spiritually, and maybe financially, look at the different areas of my life to see where I could have improved. So for personal development, I like to do that, do an audit, and then decide from where I would like to go. My personal development may mean that I want to learn more languages. It may mean that I want to travel more. Maybe I would like to do more courses. There are lots of courses online that you can do, free courses.
Yes.
You have to be paid. To learn how to cook, learn how to play the piano, all sorts of things for personal growth and development. Yes. So it really depends on what you want to do. But I do a couple of courses, and that has helped me with my personal development too.
I think what I'm taking away, because you're talking and I keep hearing being intentional. You're intentional about making these goals for yourself. So if the change is going to happen, an angel isn't going to come from somewhere and make it happen for you. You're going to have to be intentional. So you've got to get the pen and the paper and write. And a lot of times we find that individuals don't even know how they want to feel and where they want to be and what they want to do. And so it's a matter of putting something down. How do you feel now? What would you like to feel? So if you're feeling, oh, I'm not in a good place, then what we want to be, then I want to be in a good place. And then when do you want to be in that good place? By next month. And then what are the things what would change to make me feel like I'm in a better place? Or if I lost 2 pounds, you're quite detailed and intentional. And what's jumping out at me is that it's hard work. Nothing is easy. It's not easy. It's something intentional, because if you're that detailed, because you could just say, oh, I want to lose a few pounds and just sit back on the couch.
Right.
But it's quite detailed, it's quite intentional. And we want to speak to that person, saying that you have to get intentional about yourself. You have to get intentional about your family members and what it is that you want to see, what it is that you want to accomplish. It's not going to fall out of the sky, out of anywhere. You have to get up. You have to do that exercise. You have to make that smoothie. You have to, look about how you can start that business. It has to be intentional. It has to be intentional, because nobody will do it for you. I know of anybody who will do something else for anybody as detailed like that. It has to come from within you. You have to be intentional about making that positive change. And here we see Venice, and somebody looking at Venice saying, she looks at me, she sounds at me, and she's quite intentional with her life. She's even intentional with her finances. We're going to come to that as well. And she does an audit. Now, to be honest, Venice, you've taken it to another level. I had never thought of doing an audit at the end of the year. I can't even remember what scraps of notebooks that I have things in. And it's quite intentional to make an audit, to track your progress and see, okay, this went well. That's a lot of self-care, and I'm absolutely going to be grabbing it and working with it. And we hope that the person who's watching this, who needed this to be able to be intentional about their life, the change starts with you, and you being intentional about a change in your life and making your plans towards it. And so we just want to encourage you to be intentional. Be intentional. Venice is doing it. It's working for her. Be intentional. No one is going to do it for you. So just sit down, get your pen and paper, and be intentional. We're going to move on to our next question, which is, what's your tip? We want you to leave with us a tip about money management as a business person and as a wife and mom, and especially in this COVID period where people are trying to manage their money. Leave us with a healthy business money management or a personal money management tip.
Well, regarding money management, I would encourage everyone to have multiple streams of income. Having the one job ain't cutting it anymore. Gone are the days when people used to be in one job for 30, 40 years. Those things don't come around anymore, darling. And so in addition to getting multiple streams of income, don't overwhelm yourself, right? So you can start off with 2 or 3 first. So some people write books and sell on Amazon. Some people teach online. And then another thing may be writing course materials. If you're a great artist, you can draw and sell. Whatever it is that you can do to get your multiple streams of income. Start with what you can do, and then if you want to, you can increase after that. Another tip is to monetize your skills.
Right.
You can't sit down on your skills. Can you play the piano? If you can, then record yourself playing the piano, put up a YouTube channel, offer private lessons to people. Can you teach literacy? Offer private tutoring. Go on Fiverr, offer your services. Are you a great graphic designer? Are you an artist? Can you sing? I know a young girl that is a great singer, and a German company has hired her to sing jingles.
Oh my God.
And they pay her an arm and a leg just to sing jingles. So, I mean, use your talent. It doesn't have to be the area that you studied your degree in, or your diploma in, or your certificate in. If you have a talent to cook food, start a cooking channel on YouTube, write a recipe book, sell the recipe book, And while you're on the channel, you're cooking the actual recipe that's in the book. So people
Right.
can have the recipe, but also see how it's done. And you put your signature twist on it. You get that as
I
well?
love this. I'm just,
So
oh my God. I didn't
yeah,
think it could get any better
tap
than this, but
into your skills. It's
yeah,
not those degree economics, history, those things. That's not what is cutting it now. It's artistic work, being creative and using your skills in the creative arts. And people are running down to pay you, and they will pay you,
yes, they
but
will.
you just need to know to
They
market.
will. So many things
And
are
in
jumping out
addition
at
to
me.
that, one last thing is to ensure that you have a pension plan. In
Right,
Jamaica, many entrepreneurs don't have pension plans. Many freelancers don't have pension plans. Pension plans are usually given to persons that are in full-time jobs
right.
and have a stable and steady income. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, or you're a freelancer, you just do a part-time work. You work on the go. You get what I'm saying? And you may not
Right,
have that. But there are quite a few companies around the world and here in Jamaica
right.
that offer a pension plan to freelancers. And I would encourage you to do that because when retirement age comes, you're going to need that safety net.
So you need to manage your money now, and you need to think about your money for the future. You can't let the
And you
future
need
meet
to
you
put
and
away
go,
your
oh, I
money for
didn't
the
think about any money
future.
in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to stress that a part of managing your money is managing the money you have now and managing the money for the future. The future you is going to need money. And the future you will
Absolutely.
not have as much energy and strength, maybe. So it's
Absolutely.
going, the future you will just
So
bang
these are
something
your
for the
wealth
future.
years. Your
Right.
youth is your wealth years. After a while, the youth goes and you're going to need that. So I've
Definitely.
seen a couple of persons that I've seen work hard in their young age, and when they're older now, retired, they're okay.
Yes.
And I look at that as an example to say, this is what I am. And another thing, that same couple I'm talking about, they're okay now in their retirement. They don't have to depend on their children for
Right.
anything.
Right.
Not
Wow.
saying that the children are not supposed to take care of their older
Yeah.
parents, but isn't it such a good gift and blessing to know that your parents have taken care of themselves financially, that they don't have to lean on you per se, because
Right.
you know, as the
Your
child,
family.
have a young family, you have
Right.
children, and you want to take, but sometimes you have to be taken care of mommy and daddy in their older years because they didn't take care of their finances. So
Right.
that's what I have learned. It's a blessing to do
Yes.
that.
It's jumping. So what's jumping out at me, my takeaway is, and first we want to say, if you've got older parents, and my culture, Venice's culture, we take care of the older people in our families. We take care of
Absolutely.
just about anybody who needs taking care of. We want to encourage you to do that, because if we do not take care of our own, what does that make us? We can't, mandate anything, but we just want to encourage you to do that. Give back. And a part of giving back is giving back to those who have sown into you as well. But the
Absolutely.
takeaway definitely is, while you're in your youth and you have your strength and you're making your money, think about the future self. But one of the things I'm really taking away is the fact that monetize your skills. And I think, and you can correct me, I think I'm coming from a generation and an era that never thought you should monetize your skill, and couldn't even see the skill as something you could monetize, because it's just some drawing, or it's just some singing, or it's just some playing the piano. And here's another thing too. While those who are artistic can do that, there are those who have skill, like if you are very good at reading something and finding the error, so if you're good at copywriting, so it's not only
Right.
drawing and painting, you have, if your brain works really
Absolutely.
quickly, and you can type, or you can hear something and transcribe, and it just works really quickly for your fingers and your ears, you can monetize that as well. And so the takeaway here is to plan for your money. A part of planning for your money is having a job, having a second job, second stream of income. But a mass majority of what looks like what's going to work for you is what you already have as your personal skill. So you got to work with what you have.
Absolutely.
And so if there's anything, we want to encourage you to find out what your skills and abilities are. especially during this COVID period. What are my skills and abilities? And then how can I make them better? How can I look at this and make it better? And then how can I monetize it? And you're not going to be sinning for playing the piano and singing a jingle, I think, you know, because you're using your skill
and talent,
what you have,
absolutely,
to be able to feed yourself and your future self as well, and a family if you have a family. Wow, so much to take away from it. So we're going into, we've had so much fun, we don't want it to end. We're going into our last question, and you mentioned it at the beginning, mentoring. And we're quite big on mentoring here. We're quite big on giving back, because that's how you change the face of a generation, if you give back to the generation that's coming up. So how do you mentor? What does Happy Teachers do, or you personally, to be a part of mentoring?
All right, so Happy Teachers, we do a free class every year to our African teachers. I'm currently teaching the Tanzanian teachers from the Tanzania Teachers Association. These are usually young teachers who are just coming in, and they don't know much about the industry and so forth. So I reach out to them and guide them along. They ask their questions. We do motivation sessions, and I also give them a certificate when they're done, so that they can go forward, and give them some tips on what they can do. In addition to that, I do have a wellness group for the year. So we started in January, and we have about 45 persons in that wellness group. And we meet every other Sunday, and we talk about self-care. We talk about how to take care of our families, friends, how to manage our career, how to work at home with everyone in the house, just different things on wellness. And that's my way of mentoring and giving back to the teaching community.
Perfect. You know, just, we're going to wrap up here, but we've had so much fun. An hour goes by so fast, we don't even realize. But we just want you to leave us with that one thing that you didn't get to say to us before now. Just leave that one thought with us.
All right. So it's easy to look at others and think, oh, I wish I could be like them, that they're a great role model, but everyone is human. Right. Everyone makes mistakes. Even if you're a pastor or a priest, you make mistakes because you're a human being. If you idolize someone so much that you can't believe they would make a mistake, you strip their humanity from them. Yeah. So the very first thing is that they're human. And through those human lenses, you can now begin to understand why people make different decisions, why people slip and fall sometimes, why people make mistakes, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, it doesn't matter. We are all fallible. When you look at life through those lenses, you'll be more understanding with your faults, and even more understanding with others. And that will help you to work well with others. That's a great tip with working well with others, especially if you're a leader, if you're planning to have your own business, if you're a leader at your job, at your church, remembering that people are human beings first. Before they're even a Christian, they're human beings first. And if you don't view them as that, you're stripping their humanity from them.
And I think I've just, you know, you were talking and it was just jumping out at me, because that's what always happens. You know, humanity. And in a time like COVID now, we have to think of humanity, the humanness of people, and be able to understand what it is that they're going through or they might face, and how they might react in situations because of that. But knowing that you're giving them another opportunity, or an opportunity to be able to be themselves, because humanity might have kicked in. And so we just really want to endorse that, to understand that, you know, people make mistakes, but don't kill our focus or only look at the
And don't
person.
keep any record of wrongs. Try
Wrongs.
not to keep any record of
Wow.
wrongs.
Powerful, powerful,
Why?
powerful.
Because everyone is human.
Right. Thank you so much, Venice. All of Venice's information for Happy Teachers, for everything that concerns her, will be in our description box. So just have a look in the description box for all that you need. If you need to contact her, please, please do. She is ever so kind. If what she's spoken about today reaches you, or what she offers is something that you would be interested in, please do contact her. If you are an opportunity for her to know about, to share with others, please contact her as well. And if you are looking for an opportunity, contact her as well. So we just want to say that. Thank you so much for coming to Thoughts today. We had so much fun. We don't want it to end, but
Yes,
it
we
has
did.
to. We just really want to thank you, want to bless you for sharing with us. And we hope that that person who watches this will say, you know, Venice has done it. She's really done it. And one of the things I'm taking away is how intentional you have been. I have to really get down into that, being intentional, and it has worked for her. And if I borrow this and
sure
take it away, I can make it work for me too. This is Thoughts. I'm Trudy. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please do check the description box for all of her details. And again, if you are an opportunity, which means that if you're a school or a business and you have vacancies, please do contact her. And if you are looking for please do contact her as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Venice. Thank you for coming to Thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.